He was about to take a sip of his drink when a small voice next to him said something that made his blood run cold. At first he thought he misheard her, but the young girl in the yellow hoodie leaned in again and whispered clearly, "There's a drug in your drink." Everyone around him was laughing, eating, completely unaware. The man froze, his hand trembling as the glass hovered near his lips. He looked at the girl, serious, calm, and too young to be playing a prank like this. She said it like it was a fact, not a joke. What would you do if a complete stranger warned you that your drink was poisoned, and the person who handed it to you was the one you were planning to marry? That moment shifted everything. It wasn't just about a drink anymore. It was about trust, danger, and what happens when you listen to a voice everyone else would ignore. It was a private brunch held at one of the most exclusive estates on the East Coast, an event meant to celebrate the engagement of a billionaire tech mogul and his glamorous fiancée. Guests sipped champagne under chandeliers, string music played softly, and security stood discreetly near the entrance. The man, known for avoiding public drama, was surprisingly relaxed until that moment. That girl's warning sliced through the luxury like a knife. No one noticed her whisper, but they saw the billionaire's face shift. He didn't make a scene. He placed the drink back down slowly, his smile fading into a quiet stare. Within seconds, he flagged over a discreet staff member and whispered something of his own. The staff took the glass away without question. The mood didn't break, but the game had changed. That girl had triggered something no one was prepared for. Instead of reacting publicly, he began asking questions quietly. Who was the girl? Who brought her here? Why would she say something so serious, so specific? She didn't appear frightened, just firm. The man's instincts kicked in. He had spent decades reading people, negotiating billion-dollar deals, surviving boardroom betrayals. But this was personal. He didn't accuse anyone, not yet, but he noticed everything. Who was standing near the drink, who touched it, and when. He didn't confront his fiancée. He didn't even look at her. He simply kept moving through the brunch, waiting for results while a lab technician from his personal security team took the glass to be tested. No one suspected a thing, but behind the scenes, alarms were going off. What had started as a celebration was now a ticking clock. The toxicology results came back fast, within 2 hours. Enough of the sedative was found in the glass to cause dizziness, memory loss, and unconsciousness within minutes, especially if combined with alcohol. It was a fast-acting compound commonly used in criminal settings, illegal to possess without authorization. The lab confirmed it. This wasn't a mix-up or contamination. Someone had intentionally laced the drink. The glass itself showed clear signs of tampering. There was no ambiguity. Someone meant for the man to consume that drug. The billionaire, usually reserved and calculating, went pale when he heard the analysis. Not because of the substance itself, but because he immediately knew who had handed him that drink. And she wasn't a stranger. She was the woman he had just publicly promised to spend the rest of his life with. Security began piecing together the timeline. Surveillance footage captured every angle of the brunch. Reviewing the video, they watched guests arriving, mingling, and being served. And then it happened. At 10:37 a.m., the fiancée is clearly seen picking up 2 drinks from the bar, glancing briefly over her shoulder, and walking toward her partner. She smiles, hands him the glass, kisses his cheek. No one else touches it. From that moment on, the drink never left his side until the little girl intervened. There was no mix-up, no waitstaff confusion. The only fingerprints on that glass besides his were hers. He didn't need to confront her yet. The footage alone said everything. Now it wasn't just about suspicion, it was about motive. What reason would she have to drug him, and why now? The financial records were the first red flag. Quietly, the billionaire's legal team began digging. They discovered that just weeks before the engagement, she had consulted with multiple estate attorneys, asking about joint asset structures and sudden incapacitation clauses. She had also delayed signing the prenuptial agreement, claiming she wanted more time. On top of that, an anonymous tip led investigators to a shadowy transaction. Several $1,000s wired to an untraceable account linked to an underground pharmacy known for selling controlled substances. That wasn't all. The most disturbing discovery came from an insurance broker who revealed she had recently taken out a high-value policy on her fiancé's life, one that would go into full effect just days after their wedding. On paper, it was the perfect setup, but now everything was unraveling fast. The girl's identity wasn't a mystery for long. She was the daughter of a former housekeeper who had once worked for the fiancé's family. They hadn't seen each other in over a year, but the girl had been visiting that weekend. According to investigators, she had overheard a late-night phone call just days before the brunch. Her old employer speaking to someone in hushed tones, mentioning the drink and no mistakes. The girl didn't fully understand what it meant. But when she saw the billionaire about to sip that glass, something inside her told her to speak up. She didn't yell. She didn't panic. She just walked over and whispered what she knew. That moment, that quiet whisper, might have saved a man's life and exposed a truth far more sinister than anyone expected. Once authorities had enough evidence, they moved in swiftly. The fiancé was arrested without incident and charged with attempted poisoning, conspiracy, and intent to cause harm for financial gain. The billionaire, stunned but composed, made a public statement 2 days later. He didn't lash out. He didn't name names. He simply said, "Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones you never really know. And sometimes a stranger's voice is the only reason you get to walk away." The girl and her mother were placed under protection. The billionaire later ensured they would never struggle financially again. In private, insiders say he visits the family often, always bringing a small gift for the girl who stopped time with just a whisper. The estate where the brunch took place was quietly sold soon after. If you were in that man's shoes, would you have believed her? A little girl walking up in the middle of a celebration to tell you something that sounds impossible? Would you stop or would you sip? The truth is, most people wouldn't. They'd brush it off, they'd laugh. But this time someone listened. And because he did, the real story came out before it was too late. What do you think? Drop a comment below and tell us. Do you trust your instincts, or would you have ignored the warning? Because sometimes the smallest voice in the room is the one that changes everything.